A very good morning to all present here. Ralph Waldo Emerson says that there is no better way to exercise imagination than the study of law. As a new set of students begin their journey here in higher education at DME, with immense pride and sense of joy, I welcome you all to the orientation program of the first batch of LLM of DME Law School, Noida. Today we have with us Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh Sir, Director General DME and former Judge Allahabad High Court as the chief guest. I welcome you, sir, and we are honored by your presence here. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Rajinder Kaur Randhawa, Head DME Law School, Noida, to this event. As a warm welcome is always complete with warm gestures, I request Professor Randhawa to welcome sir with a plant. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. As new members stepping into our DME family, I'm sure you would all be curious to learn a little more about your institution. Some of us already know it, others are new to it. Sir was appointed in the UP Judicial Services in April 1970 after he had obtained a master's degree in law. Sir was promoted to the Higher Judicial Services in 1979. His Lordship then presided over a special court of CBI, Dehradun, and was elevated to the Registrar, Allahabad High Court in 1992, where he worked for about 3 years. Sir then graced the office of Registrar General of Supreme Court of India and was elevated to a permanent judge of the Allahabad High Court on March 26, 1999. Sir held this office up to 2007. His Lordship was then appointed for 5 years as the President, UP State Consumer Commission. Thereafter, Sir adorned the august office of Chairman, Judicial Training and Research Institute, UP, from 2012 to 2014, and joined Delhi Metropolitan Education as Professor and Director General from July 2014. I request, sir, to please address our LLM audience.
So this small number of our students reminds me of my own days when I was a student. There were hardly 16 students in my class in 1968 and 1969, and except me, everyone was either a professional or employed elsewhere. So a small number doesn't matter much because your class is that of master's education, and you deserve a special category. Why? Because you are already law graduates, matured persons, and many of you are pursuing the litigation practice. So good. Who are those not either practicing or employed anywhere? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So we start. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Randhawa, our HOD, other faculty members, and dear students, it's indeed a pleasure to join this orientation program. And since it is our first batch, so as you are excited, we are also very much delighted to have the master's course in law in our college. So Vedpriya ma'am has already welcomed you, but I will also join her in welcoming you all to this master's class. We begin with Aurobindo Ghosh teaching that education should be a tool to construct the human mind. Since you are already law-knowing persons, so our motto to have interactions in your classes, to have discussions, or teaching you would be to construct your mind how to be a good professional, a good lawyer, a good judge, or a corporate executive. Friends, Aurobindo believed always in good deeds and always remember that three words are very crucial in the justice delivery system. They are, I believe you are already acquainted with them: just, fair, and reasonable. Just, fair, and reasonable. And the human activation surrounding these words, in fact, bring a combine of good deeds. But there are more to count which can be termed to be as good deeds. It is positive approach towards everything, your reading habit. And I always remember Vivekanand, not that Vedapriya is from West Bengal here, Bengal now, but even Aurobindo Ghosh was from Bengal, Vivekanand was from Bengal. And I am greatly impressed by Vivekanand's preachings, who would always say that the student's life is always a life of learning. And also he said that once a student, always a student. Not only that you have become a lawyer or you have become any other professional, still you may consider yourself to be a student. What a student is? Anyone who keeps on learning is a student. And therefore, even after you will be selected as a judge, or you will be a very proficient lawyer, a famous lawyer, you will continue to increase your knowledge. You will always continue to learn more and more so that you can utilize your knowledge in execution of your plans, your judgments if in judiciary, or the arguments if in the litigation. Friends, also it was impressed upon the human beings by Aurobindo Ghosh that we should follow good moral behavior and always bear in our mind the moral values. Every religious scripture, be it a Ramayana, a Gita, a Quran, a Bible, they preach only good things, and they are moral values, good behavior. As Mahatma Gandhi, our father of the nation, said, that a person should always avoid 7 things: politics without principles, if a politician will behave without moral values or without the principles of life, then he may not be a successful politician. And it reminds me of two very great politicians in the Indian history. One is Indira Gandhi, the other is H.D. Mudgal. He was an MP from Maharashtra. In the very first Lok Sabha, he realized some money from a businessman to pursue his cause in the government circles. And he asked a question in the Lok Sabha just to propagate his businessman friend. He was caught in his motto and expelled from the Lok Sabha in presence of great leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, and the champion of our constitution, Mr. Dr. Ambedkar. He was expelled. So, what Mahatma Gandhi said, that never do politics without principles. Second thing he said, that avoid commerce without morals. In every field, honesty, integrity, good conduct, they are always the guiding factors of human minds. Then he said that third thing to avoid is education without character. Education without character. If we want really to be educated, either in preaching or learning, we should bear good moral character. Then health without work. Wealth without work. It is also a guiding principle of moral values that we should not believe in earning money without following any work, without doing any work. And I remember that in Quran it is recited that a Mohammedan should not eat out of free ship. That's why there are many Mohammedans who do not accept interest even if their money is in fixed deposit in a bank. It is different that banks are very much delighted to utilize their money without paying any interest. Otherwise, everybody likes to earn interest on their FDRs. But this is what? It's the moral value of a high character. Never earn any wealth without work. Work should always be done. Then the fifth guidance our great leader Mahatma Gandhi gave to us was that never have any pleasure without conscience. Whatever you want to enjoy, it should be allowed by your conscience. If not, then it should not be your pleasure. Then science without humanity. Science is a field in which always researches are being conducted. When I was a child, the railways, the motor cars, they used to be the latest developments of science. But today, it is an unending process. What is not there now in a mobile? Everything. So, the science without humanity, we should never forget when we are using mobiles. To remember that wrong messages or doing something wrong might amount to be a cyber crime. Therefore, science, Gandhiji said, when cyber crimes were nowhere in existence. But he gave a teaching that science without humanity should not be exercised. Then worship without sacrifice, and never believe in arbitrariness. You might have heard the name of Cyprus Mistry, who was the chief executive officer of Tata Group. He sold many industries, and on account of his lackluster attitude, his arbitrariness, the steel plant, Bhilai steel plant, suffered losses. It was because of this kind of arbitrariness, this arbitrary attitude, that he had to be removed by the chairman. So friends, these sayings of Mahatma Gandhi should always be borne by us, and we should never forget that the teachings of great persons are great lessons of life. Friends, when I say three words are the pillars of our judicial system: just, fair and reasonableness, then all these words indicate that behind them is the principle of honesty. Everyone is expected to be honest in his life, to be honest in every dealing. Maybe you are taking an examination, a test, or pleading a case before the court, or hearing a case as a judge. You are believed to be 100% honest. I would like to share one anecdote with you. A.B. Godrej was a freedom fighter and a follower of Mahatma Gandhi. When freedom movement was at its peak, Gandhiji asked A.B. Godrej to go to South Africa and plead a case before the court. A.B. Godrej complied with his direction, and he went along with the client he was to represent in the court. When the hearing was to begin, the client of A.B. Godrej asked him to twist some facts of his case so as to give him an edge over the opposite party's case. Initially, A.B. Godrej refused to do that, believing that no, I will not do anything which may amount to dishonesty. But then the litigant was a very shrewd person. He gave allurement of higher fees, and A.B. Godrej fell to his trap, and he twisted the facts and submitted before the court. The judge was extra intelligent person. He had caught red-handed A.B. Godrej pleading the wrong facts before the court, and the judge, after hearing both the sides, dismissed the case which was argued by A.B. Godrej. A.B. Godrej felt disgusted because from inner of his heart he always believed in honesty. But he was taken into trap by his client on allurement of a higher fee. He went to Gandhiji and said that now onward he will not be pursuing the practice as a lawyer, and he abandoned that profession. Then he started some business which did not succeed, rather which had suffered losses. Then on Gandhiji's advice, he started manufacturing locks and almirahs. He wanted some loan to start and to ameliorate his business. So he approached a Parsi. He himself was a Parsi gentleman. He approached Boyce, another Parsi, and requested him to lend some loan to him. It was given by him, and after a few years, when A.B. Godrej went to return his loan, Boyce said that you don't return my money. Give me one favor, that accommodate my nephew who is unemployed and not believes in working or do some work. So you give some share in your business. In other words, that make his nephew to be the partner in the business of almirahs. And A.B. Godrej willingly accepted his offer and accommodated his nephew to be a partner of 25% in his business. Ever since, the name of this company was known as A.B. Godrej and Boyce. If you will visit an A.B., a Godrej establishment, dealer or seller, a wholesale seller, you will find always written A.B. Godrej and Boyce. In his last days, A.B. Godrej advised his heirs, the company's directors, that never break this partnership, because he was heavily indebted to Boyce, who had lent him loan. And on this preaching of honesty, A.B. Godrej, even till days, not only accommodating the heirs and next generations of Boyce, but they are doing the business on the basis of honesty. You will find Godrej almirahs and locks very effective, very excellent in quality. They excel all other almirahs and locks in this. So honesty, that is the definition of honesty. not only in business but also in profession. He was not inclined to twist the facts of the case of his client. So honesty, and it's a proverb also, old saying, that honesty is the best policy. So always believe in that principle. Friends, you are some of them, some of you are lawyers and practicing in the courts. Always devote time, as in on your studies, also while preparing your briefs. I remember that a lawyer was arguing before the Supreme Court in its early days, before the division bench of Gajendra Gadkar, who subsequently became Chief Justice of India, and one more judge. When the appellant's counsel was arguing, the junior judge said that, Mr. Counsel, there is only one ruling of the House of Lords against you. There is only one ruling on this point of taxation, and this goes against you. The lawyer acknowledged, my lord, it is correct that there is lone ruling on this point and it goes against me. But Lord Halesbury has, in the laws of Halesbury, observed that the principle of law laid down in that ruling against me is a bad law. It's not a good law. The bench of the Supreme Court called for the Halesbury's observation and correctly found that Lord Halesbury's observation was against that ruling. Lord Halesbury has criticized that principle of law laid down. And the observation of Lord Halesbury was so much effective and so much having an edge over the arguments of the other counsel that the case was decided in conformity with the observation and the law laid down by Lord Halesbury, not by the ruling of the House of Lords. So what I wish to impress upon you is that your arguments must be thoroughly prepared, and likewise your answers to any question in the master's course examination must be thoroughly prepared. The rulings you must emphasize upon, and the substantive law now is being created. It is being made by the judges made law. As you will learn, or you might have already learnt in the chapters of jurisprudence, that judges do make law. Yes, judges do create law by evolving new theories, new principles of law. So you should more believe in the citations of the Supreme Court, in the judgments which have been delivered by the high courts across the country. Friends, you, even if you are a professional, you should not abandon your interest in debates, conferences and seminars. Whenever you hear or learn about a debate, seminar or conference, you must make it a point to attend it. And as I always said, I always say that you as a student, even if you are a practicing lawyer, you are a student. You must move out of your comfort zone. Concentrate on the studies and make it a habit to invest not in senseless pleasures but in sensible ones. It was said by Lord Krishna to Arjun when he refused to take the weapons against his own kith and kins. Then he was advised that don't forget that your wife Draupadi was humiliated by those kins. Therefore, you must do your duty and don't take senseless pleasures in seeing your kith and kins. Rather, do the sensible thing and kill them all. That was the lesson, that was the teaching given by Arjun, by Krishna. So, invest your money in purchasing books, purchasing journals, etc. Whenever you find time, go to a book fair. You will come across some such books which you could have never believed that they might have been available in the market. So never miss a book fair or a good bookshop which has general books also, autobiographies, the narratives of famous lawyers, eminent judges, etc. Friends, be always curious to learn things. Whenever you hear about anything new, say the Uniform Civil Code, now which has been named in a different style by our Prime Minister, secular code. What it is, what it does mean. Your curiosity must inspire you to go deep into such subjects. And what are literal appointments? Very recently, it was the bone of contention. The literal appointments, that is the appointments to be made only on the basis of interviews and not on the settled rules or regulations of employment. They are the lateral appointments. Now, the proposal has been withdrawn by the central government. But all the same, your curiosity must be inspired to learn what it is. What is it? New things should always be. And see, it is only in the judicial circle or in the legal circle that new things come to happen almost daily, one or another day after. So, never ignore the current topics, which may be burning topics, and also have your minds to be entertained by some humorous material. The lawyers have written some good anecdotes. Judges have also written good anecdotes. You must go through them and Friends, then yesterday only we had a memorial lecture uh, in the name of Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, a lady judge, Miss Justice Mukta Gupta had come to deliver the keynote address. So try to learn about our famous judges. Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer is one of them, though there are many names to be enumerated. Justice A.S. Anand, Justice Vivian Bose. We'll discuss a few of them in our later parts. It is always good to know about our judges, how he behaved, how they have delivered their judgments, and what was their philosophies, etc. Friends, it is our daily experience that the students devote too much of their time on mobile every day. And at times, even in classes, the backbenchers, they keep on doing messages. So don't waste much of your time on doing messages. As it is said that you may have hundreds of likes on Facebook, but that is not going to pay your bills. Likewise, you may have hundreds of retweets on Twitter, but that will not pay for your mortgage. And you may have heaps of unread WhatsApp messages, but that is not going to pay for your new car. You might have dozens of likes on Instagram. That is not going to pay for your life. So get a life, start working hard today. Don't waste your time on mobiles or doing messages. Friends, in our a short clip shown to you on the screen, you might have come to know that once the former judge of the Supreme Court, Mr. Justice Mukandakam Sharma, had come to deliver a lecture here. He is a brilliant judge, and he said that dharma means to bind with norms and rules of the society. It includes rules, regulations, and discipline. It is the backbone of justice delivery system. I may repeat that the rules, the regulations, the discipline, they are the backbone of our justice delivery system. Now we may have a reference to some of our old Indian judges who had built up a castle of judicial norms, judicial principles, and the backbone of justice. One of the names which I always remember is Shambhunath Pandit. He was the first Indian judge to be appointed in Calcutta High Court. And if we happen to go through his life sketch, he was a clerk in a district court. He hailed from poor family. He was so bright in dealing with his matters that many lawyers advised him to take admission in law, but he did not have money to pay for the fees. Then lawyers came to his help, and with their help he had taken law degree. Then he started practicing law in Calcutta High Court, and very shortly he became a name with fame. He started earning lot of money, and whenever any poor litigant would come to him and request that he doesn't have any money, please do his case pro bono, he will do. He will never hesitate, because he knew what the poverty is. Not only this, that he would help financially and monetarily, but also he would welcome I'm audible? He would welcome the poor students to go for study of law. He even offered his entire house for lodging of the students. His house was more a law students' hostel than a house. He was so benevolent in his dealings. And not only he is to be remembered, but he supported the social causes also. In those days, the girls were not sent to the schools and colleges, but then it was he who encouraged the girls' education. He supported the girls. Something wrong. See it. He supported the girls' education as a lawyer. Then he also supported the cause of remarriage of widows. Sati Pratha was very popular. He opposed it. Rather, he preferred remarriage of widows. And then he also propagated anti-alcoholic attitude. So, not only a lawyer, but a reformist, a philanthropist, and such a person is always recognized. The British government appointed him as a judge of the High Court. He delivered very good judgments in his times, which were recognized and are followed even today. So, when you study about such a judge, a philanthropist, a reformist, certainly you are bound to gain excellent knowledge of your predecessors. Friends, I remember there was a judge in Allahabad High Court. Justice Mahmood, an erudite judge. He was appointed as a High Court judge at the age of 32 when he was district judge of Raebareli. British judges observed that the talent of an excellent quality judge is being rotten there in a district. He should be elevated as a High Court judge. And he was elevated. And he was a man of his own kind. And he delivered some very good judgments. In Mohammedan law, the adoption is not recognized, but he delivered a judgment that even Mohammedans can, according to Shariat, adopt children. He gave some such kind of original judgments. He resigned when the British government did not accept his proposal about hearing of a capital sentence case by two judges instead of one. You may remember that during freedom movement, many Indians who participated in freedom movement were hanged, and the appeal against their judgments about the judgments against them were heard by a single judge in the High Court. And in those days, they were the Britishers only were the judges. At late stage, they came. The Indians were appointed judges. But when Justice Mahmood's proposal for hearing a capital sentence case by the division bench was not accepted, he resigned. He kicked the judgeship and came to Aligarh to monitor the transforming of Oriental Law College into a Aligarh Muslim University, a famous university now. When the university had been established, he left. Now what shall I do here? He went to Lucknow and rejoined the legal profession. There was no restriction in those days about uh, practicing after retirement as a judge. Now there is a restriction that a judge after his retirement cannot practice in the same high court, but he can certainly practice in before other high courts. So these are the judges of great values, moral values. They always believed in principles, not that they were behind the monetary gains. Friends, Justice M.C. Chagla is also a name who shall always be remembered in the annals of Indian judiciary. He was Chief Justice of Bombay High Court for 11 long years, and he was such a brilliant judge that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the Prime Minister, thought that he can better serve the cause of public life. So he was appointed as ambassador of Indian ambassador to America, United States of America and Mexico, and also Cuba. He was a brilliant person, and when his term was over as an ambassador, then he was appointed as a minister in Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet, when uh, he resigned as an education minister in Indira Gandhi's prime ministership, then he came to Supreme Court and started practicing there as a lawyer. And in the very first year, he was the highest income tax paid lawyer. He was a brilliant judge. You should always remember. Friends, these are some of the examples of the judges who are always to be remembered for their contribution towards the judiciary. And the punctuality is one of the traits which should always be followed by you. Never be late while coming to the classes. Never miss your classes. I was told that some of you, being professionals, may skip some classes. Try to maintain attendance so that your juniors can follow you. And towards the last, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to impress upon that masters is not an ordinary course. It requires lot of studies. I remember that in Agra University, for 18 long years, not even one student could pass. It was such a tough course 50 years back. Now, the passing percentage has been reduced, but still, you have to work hard. So friends, with these words of guidance, you can say it a orientation, I bless you all. I wish you all for a bright future, for your successful career. I would always pray God that you reach at the zenith of your career in your lifetime. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational words. So, with this, we come to the end of this orientation lecture. I take this opportunity to thank our Director General, Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh, sir, for gracing this occasion. Thank you so much, sir, for your constant support and blessings. I also thank Dr. Randhawa for joining us here today. Thank you to one and all. With this, we conclude this. We'll take a 10 minutes break and then reconvene for the further events. Thank you.